Hi everyone, welcome back. If it's your first time joining me, my name is Vicki Fisher. I'm a yoga teacher and I'm sharing some free classes on YouTube. So today I decided that I wanted to share a complete beginner's guide to Vinyasa. So this class will be for anyone who is just beginning to venture into this style of yoga. So we'll really be breaking down the Vinyasa Flow, taking it really slow, and I'll be explaining everything step by step. So if you're keen to try this out, all you need is your yoga mat, some comfortable clothing, and if you have yoga blocks, it's always useful to have one. And if you're curious where to get it and how expensive they are, you can get really cheap ones. Like this one I got from Aldi, the supermarket, for like €2 or something. Obviously you can get better quality ones, you can get cork ones. They are selling them everywhere. So I really recommend that you get yourself a block or two for your home practice. Cool, so let's start. We'll begin in a wide leg child's pose. This just really helps to ground and open up the hips and the shoulders a little bit. So coming onto all fours, taking your knees as wide as the mat, big toes together, just beginning to sit the hips back onto the heels, walking your fingers forward and bringing your forehead down to the ground. If your knees are a little bit sensitive, you can also have a blanket or a towel across the mat underneath the knees, or you can roll up the back of the mat for extra support. And once you feel comfortable, just beginning to allow yourself to open a little bit, to ground. Taking a deep inhale, filling up the belly. And exhale all the way from the belly. Another deep inhale, filling up the belly. And exhale, releasing. And just allowing the breath to normalize. Feeling the connection of your forehead to the mat. Maybe taking little rocks from side to side through your head. Giving your forehead a massage. Starting to bring some blood, some oxygen and energy into your head space. While allowing the mat and the ground to absorb any excess mental energy, any overthinking that you've been doing today. Allowing all those thoughts, all that energy to be absorbed into the ground. And finding stillness, just for a moment. Try not to move at all. Allowing the breath to become as quiet as possible. And maybe you'd like to set an intention for yourself for the class without thinking too much. Just choose a feeling that you'd like to carry with you. And gently beginning to walk your fingers over towards the right side. Bringing your left hand underneath the right. And taking your forehead back down to the mat.
Sitting your left hip back onto the left heel and stretching down the left side of the body. And coming back to the fingers, walking over to the left side, taking the right hand underneath the left and forehead down. Sitting the right hip onto the right heel and stretching the right side of the body open. And coming back to the fingers, walking back through the center and gently beginning to climb up, coming onto all fours. Your hips might feel a little bit sensitive here. They're just waking up, so the rest of the flow, your hips will be a bit more open now. So spreading the fingers out wide, tucking the toes under. With a deep inhale, we'll go through a cat-cow, so dropping the belly down towards the ground, opening up through the shoulders and the chest, lifting the chin towards the sky. And then beginning to untuck your toes, pressing the tops of the feet into the mat as you push the ground away, sucking the belly up and in, dropping the head down and rounding. And again, tucking the toes under, dropping the belly down, opening the shoulders and the chest, lifting the chin up, and untucking the toes, pressing the tops of the feet into the ground, pressing the ground away as you round and drop the head down. And then we'll try to bring the breath into it. So tucking the toes, deep inhale, open the chest, and exhale, untuck the toes and round. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And last exhale. Coming to neutral. And we'll go for a spinal twist to open up the spine. So bringing your left hand to the center, beginning to take your right fingers up to the sky, stretching open the right shoulder, and then taking your right hand, threading it through under the body, bringing your right shoulder and ear to the ground, keeping the hips above the knees, and either staying here, keep pressing into the ground with your left hand, opening up the left shoulder, and maybe looking up towards the sky. Or, if you'd like to take it deeper, beginning to take your left fingers up to the sky, either staying here or bending the left arm back, trying to grab the opposite thigh. And keep opening the left shoulder a little bit deeper with each exhale. And beginning to release, bringing the left fingers back to the floor, pressing through the left hand to take the right fingers all the way back up to the sky for a counter stretch. And right fingers come down. Switching to the other side, right hand to the center, and left fingers stretching up to the sky. Threading the left arm underneath the body, coming down onto the left shoulder.
and ear. Keeping the hips above the knees. And either staying here, pressing into the ground with your right hand, opening up the shoulder, looking up. Or if you took the bind on the other side, doing the same. So taking your right hand around and grabbing the opposite thigh. And keep breathing. Allowing yourself to twist, allowing the chest to open. And beginning to unravel. Bringing the right fingers back to the ground, pressing into the hand, and taking your left fingers all the way back up to the sky. And left hand comes down. And we'll begin to move into our first plank pose. So making sure that your wrists are stacked underneath the shoulders, spreading your fingers as far apart from each other as you possibly can. Beginning to step back with one foot, sucking the lower belly in, and stepping back with the other foot. Creating a strong plank here, so keeping your lower belly sucked up and in, pressing the ground away from you, but also making sure that your shoulders are relaxed. Taking a deep inhale, and with your exhale, beginning to take the hips up and back, pressing the chest back towards the thighs, walking your feet in slightly. And for this first downward dog, just really bending as much as you can through the knees, coming onto the balls of the toes. Spreading your fingers out here and trying to really press your chest back so that it's actually touching your thighs. So bending the knees right in, pressing the chest right back, chest and ribs are touching your thighs. Okay. And from here, starting to lower your right heel down towards the mat, trying to straighten the leg as much as you can. And rebending your right leg, bringing your thigh to your ribs. And then beginning to extend the left heel out as much as you can. Doesn't matter if it gets to the mat or not, but just feeling that hamstring stretch. Bringing your left leg back in. One more time, straightening your left heel as much as you can towards the mat. Bringing your knee in. And one more time, left heel towards the mat. And bringing it in. Beginning to look forward and starting to roll forward back into your plank pose. Okay, from here, dropping the knees down. And I will demonstrate how to go down for your vinyasa. So for the vinyasa, you want to try and keep your elbows facing backwards as close to the ribs as possible, sucking your lower belly in, extending your chin forward, looking forward, beginning to lower your chest and your chin to the ground, but keeping the belly off the mat until the very last moment you can drop the belly down. Okay, so try it and meet me down on your belly. And then from here, pressing the tops of the feet into the mat, the hips into the mat, hands into the mat, beginning to open the shoulders back, coming up into your cobra, just as high as feels comfortable for you, really using the strength of your hands here, opening the chest and lowering the chest down. We'll do 3 more here to warm up the spine. So with your inhale, pressing into the mat, opening the chest, and exhale, rolling down to the mat.
Inhale, belly in, pressing into the mat, coming up. Exhale down. And one more. Inhale up. And exhale down. And beginning to press through the hands, suck your lower belly in, pressing up onto the knees, keeping the belly in the whole way. Okay? Tucking the toes under, beginning to lift the hips up and back, coming into your downward dog. Once again, bending through the knees and pressing your chest back towards your thighs. Okay, so we'll roll through another 2 vinyasas to warm up. So looking forward with an inhale, rolling forward into your plank position. Exhale, dropping the knees, belly in, chin forward, lowering chin and chest. Inhale, pressing into the ground, open the chest, cobra. And exhale, chest down, belly in, pushing up, tucking toes, downward dog. Holding your downward dog for 1 deep inhale. And exhale. Let's go. Inhale, rolling forward. Exhale, belly in as you lower. Inhale, chest open, cobra. And exhale, belly in onto the knees, tucking the toes, downward facing dog, stepping the feet in, bending the knees as much as you need here. Keep breathing. And beginning to bring the feet together, pressing the weight into the left foot, beginning to take your right heel up behind you towards the sky. Just for the moment, squaring your hips so that your little toes pointing towards the ground and lifting the heel as much as you can. And then beginning to open up the hip, bending the knee, taking the right heel towards your left buttock. Really lifting the knee towards the sky, opening the hip, and keep pressing the chest back. And then beginning to roll forward, taking the knee in towards your nose, coming into a plank position. Starting to create space in the spine. Inhale, kicking the foot up and back, lifting the heel to the sky, 3-legged dog. Exhale, bringing your knee to your nose, rounding through the spine, pushing the ground away. 1 more. Inhale back, 3-leg dog. And exhale, bringing your knee to your nose, push the ground away, rolling forward, and try to see, can you step the foot up between the hands? If you don't get there, you can just help yourself forward, wriggling the toes so that your foot is between the hands. And beginning to find balance between both feet. Sucking your belly in, and we'll come up into a crescent lunge, coming all the way up to stand. Fingers up, bending into your front knee. On the ball of the back foot, trying to keep your shoulders away from the ears. Our first standing pose here. Keeping the ribs and the belly in. Taking a deep inhale. And with your exhale, taking the hands to the ground, stepping back into your plank, and lowering the knees, chin forward, belly in, to the ground. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, pressing back, tucking the toes, lifting your chest back into downward dog. Keep breathing. And bringing the feet together. Bringing the weight into the right foot.
Beginning to take your left heel up to the sky, lifting the heel as high as you can, squaring the hips for the first round, and then beginning to open up through the knee, taking your left heel towards your right butt, lifting the knee as high as you can, opening the hip, and then beginning to roll forward, coming into your plank, bringing the knee to the nose and rounding through the spine. Press the ground away. Inhale, taking the heel back up to the sky, three-leg dog. Exhale, rounding, rolling forward, knee to nose. Inhale, up and back. And exhale, rounding, knee to nose. Pressing the ground away and seeing if you can step the foot up between the hands, wriggling it forward if you need to. And once your foot is between the hands, finding balance between the feet, sucking the belly in, and beginning to rise up into your crescent lunge. Really pressing strongly through your back foot, sinking into the front knee, keeping the chest and the shoulders open, ribs and belly lightly engaged in. Taking one more inhale here. And with your exhale, taking the hands to the ground, stepping back into plank and lowering down, knees to the ground, chin and chest, followed by the belly. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, belly in, pressing up onto the knees, tucking the toes, chest to the thighs. Downward dog, keep breathing. Bringing the feet together. Inhale, right heel rises to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, right foot back, three-leg dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, right leg back. And exhale, knee to nose. Stepping up. Finding your balance with a deep inhale, rising up, back into your crescent lunge. And this time flipping your back foot open so that the back foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Opening up through the arms and the shoulders, bending into your front knee. Taking a look back, making sure that your hands are in one straight line. Strong fingers, belly in. Pressing from that back edge of your back foot to sink a little bit deeper, stretching those hips. With a deep inhale, and with your exhale, cartwheel the hands to the ground, stepping back into your plank and dropping the knees, followed by the chin and the chest, and then the belly. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, belly in, pressing up, downward dog. Holding for a deep inhale. And exhale. Feet together. Inhale, left heel rises. Exhale, rolling forward, knee to nose. Inhale, three-leg dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-leg dog. Exhale, knee to nose, and stepping it up. Getting the foot in position, finding your balance. Deep inhale, rising up, crescent lunge. And flipping your foot open, parallel to the back of the mat. Opening up the arms. Warrior two. Once again, just take a little look back to your backhand, making sure your hands are level. Your drishti or point of focus should be over your front middle finger. So keeping a strong, steady gaze, Pressing from the back edge of the back foot, sinking a little bit deeper, feeling the hip stretch. Taking one more deep inhale, and with your exhale, cartwheel to the ground, stepping back and lowering down, knees, chin and chest. Inhale, cobra, and exhale, downward facing dog. Holding for a deep inhale and exhale. Bringing the feet together. Inhale, right heel rises. And exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, right heel back and up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-leg dog. And last exhale, stepping up. Finding the balance. Inhale, coming up, crescent lunge. Exhale, flipping the foot open, opening the arms, warrior two. This time, flipping your front palm up to face the sky, taking the weight forward, and then up and back. Coming into reverse warrior. Back hand is resting lightly on the back leg. Or if you'd like to take it deeper, you can bind, taking your back hand around and grabbing onto your front thigh. Wherever you are, taking one more deep inhale, lifting the chest back and up. And with your exhale, cartwheeling to the ground, stepping back into plank and lowering down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Keeping an inhale here. And exhale. Inhale, left foot rises behind you. Exhale, knee to nose, plank. Inhale, three-leg dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-leg dog. Exhale, knee to nose, and stepping up. Finding the balance. Inhale, rising up. And exhale, opening up, warrior two. Pressing from the back edge, flipping the front palm up, shifting the weight forward, up, and back. Whatever you did with your back arm on the other side, feel free to do the same now. Wherever you are, taking one more deep inhale, lifting up and back, and with your exhale, flowing to the ground, stepping back and lowering down through your vinyasa. Inhale, cobra, and exhale, downward facing dog. One inhale here, and exhale. Okay, last round. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, back. Inhale, plank, knee to nose. Inhale, three-leg dog. Exhale, stepping up. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, front palm up, reverse warrior. And this time coming through, bringing your elbow to the top of your thigh, taking your left hand up and over, palm facing down. Really trying to rotate, so opening up through the left hip, opening the left chest, trying to look up underneath the left tricep. Strong line from your back heel, pressing through that heel and letting that energy go all the way through the side body and out the fingertips. Taking one more deep inhale
And with your exhale, taking your top hand to the inside of the foot, coming onto the ball of your back foot, taking your right fingers to the sky, just for a nice revolved lunge, releasing the spine here, looking up to the top hand, taking a deep inhale, and exhale, framing the foot, stepping back, and lowering through your vinyasa, remembering to keep the belly in. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, downward dog. One inhale here. And exhale. Inhale, left foot rises, last round. Exhale, knee to nose in the plank. Inhale, three-leg dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-leg dog. Exhale, stepping up between the hands. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. And exhale, elbow to thigh. Right hand comes up and over. Extended side angle. Pressing the back edge of your back foot into the mat. Back heel pressing in the mat. And a long line of energy going all the way up the side body. Out the fingertips. Looking underneath the right tricep. Taking one more inhale. And with your exhale, bringing your right hand to the inside of the foot. Coming on the ball of the back foot. Left fingers to the sky. For a beautiful counter stretch. Lunging twist. Sucking the lower belly in as you look up towards the left hand. Taking one last inhale. And with your exhale, framing the foot, stepping back and lowering. Belly in. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, belly in. Downward dog. Chest pressing back to the thighs with a deep inhale. And exhale. One more, come on. Deep inhale. And exhale. Bringing the knees down onto the mat. And just coming back into a closed-legged child's pose with the fingers behind you. Allowing the shoulders to relax down. Taking a moment to ground. The hard work is done. And beginning to release. Coming back to all fours. We'll go back into one final downward facing dog. I promise. So tucking the toes under, fingers spread. Lifting your chest back to your thighs, dropping the head. Taking a deep inhale here. And with your exhale, looking forward and just walking the feet all the way through or floating and coming to sit. And we'll do one final core strengthening pose known as Navasana. So bringing the feet flat onto the mat, fingertips just a little bit behind you. Shifting your weight back, keeping the chest open, belly engaged, until you feel like your feet come off the floor. So you shouldn't feel like you're straining your hip flexors. Really take the weight back until the feet just look how my feet come off the floor. Okay? And then trying to take your shins parallel to the mat. And it's perfectly acceptable in the beginning to just stay here with the chest open. This is still building strength in the core.
Otherwise, you can try to take one hand at a time up, coming into the full Navasana or boat pose. If you're finding this super easy, for whatever reason, you can also try to straighten your legs, but make sure that you're still keeping your chest open and the belly tucked in. Okay, whew, I'm shaking. Maybe you are too. Okay, and we'll do one last challenge here. So bringing your hands together, interlacing all the fingers except the pointer and the thumb. Deep inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, twisting to the right. Inhale through center, exhale left. Inhale, center, exhale right. Inhale, center, exhale left. One more. To the right. Inhale, center, exhale left. Coming back through the middle, and we'll make our way to the ground. If you want to challenge yourself, extending down into lower boat, heels off the ground, shoulders off the ground, belly in. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Releasing down, shaking out the lower back, the back of the hips, the shoulders. And gently beginning to bring the knees into the chest, giving yourself a hug, taking a little rocks from side to side here. And we'll do a thread the needle supine pose, just to release the hips. So bringing your right ankle onto the left knee and taking your hands through the hole, interlacing the fingers behind the left knee and drawing your knees in towards the chest. Just trying to keep your lower back rooted into the mat here. So try not to lift the hips up. And you should feel a nice stretch across the outside of the right hip. And keeping the legs as they are, beginning to extend your fingers out to the sides, taking your right leg right over, so crossing your legs completely. And maybe if you're flexy, you can take your right foot all the way around, hooking it behind your left ankle, or else just keep the legs crossed. And beginning to shift the hips a little bit to the right, and then taking your knees over to the left, trying to keep your right shoulder on the ground. And if it feels good for the neck, maybe taking your gaze over the right fingertips. Allowing the spine to release. And gently bringing the knees all the way back through the center, unraveling the legs, taking the left ankle on the right knee. Hands go through, grabbing behind the right knee, pressing your lower back into the ground as you draw your right knee in a little bit towards the chest. And keep breathing into your left glute, your left hip, allowing it to release after all the hard work that you've done. And releasing the arms to the side, taking your left leg all the way over, so crossing your legs completely. And if you're able to, hooking your left foot behind your right ankle in your eagle legs, as we call them, or just keeping the legs crossed, shifting the hips a little bit to the left, and taking your knees over towards the right. while keeping your left shoulder anchored. And once again, just taking your neck as far over to the left as feels good. Don't force it. Just allowing a full spinal twist all the way from the hips up and out the neck. And releasing, bringing the knees back through the center. We'll do one final pose here, just to release the hips a little bit more. So coming into a happy baby, you can either grab onto your ankles, or if you're able to, you could grab the outsides of your feet, or even your big toes. So whatever is accessible to you. The idea here is to really push your pelvis, your lower back and hips into the mat as you open up through the hips. So you're drawing your hips open and down into the ground. You should feel the stretch across the inside of your inner thighs and hips here. And maybe a bit on the outside of the glutes. And just to finish off, taking little gentle rocks from side to side, really massaging the outside of the hips here. And coming to stillness, bringing your knees into the chest, taking your arms as wide around the knees as you can, really giving yourself a big hug, a big squeeze, bringing the forehead up to the knees, squeezing in one last time, and beginning to release everything down. Taking your feet out, allowing the palms to face up to the sky. Making sure that your lower back is untucked here and you feel supported and comfortable on the mat. Maybe tucking your chin in slightly just to make the back of your neck feel supported. And we'll spend a few minutes here in Shavasana. And since this is a beginner class, I will really guide you through it step by step. In more advanced classes, you can just have your own space and do this for yourself. So Shavasana is all about practicing stillness. And sometimes it's known as one of the most hardest poses in yoga because as human beings, we find it very difficult to just be still with ourselves, with our thoughts and feelings. So just feeling completely supported by the mat. Giving yourself this time to practice stillness. Noticing if you're holding any tension in the body, in the feet and the hips, in the shoulders, allowing everything to open, to soften, to become more and more relaxed with each exhale. And beginning to feel the face, feeling the teeth and the jaw, the tongue, allowing everything to soften, softening your cheekbones, softening the eyes, the eyebrows, the temples, the forehead, the crown of the head, the ears, the shoulders. Even softening the lips. Just enjoying this feeling of stillness, of full presence. There is no need to think about the future or the past. All that exists is this moment, right here, right now. And beginning to bring a little bit of awareness back into the body as we start to very slowly wriggle one finger, one toe at a time, as slow as you can, moving the fingers and the toes. Taking your head gently over towards the right, and then all the way over towards the left side. Bringing your head to neutral, taking your fingers up and over the head, and stretching all the way from your fingertips all the way out through the toes. One full body stretch. Beginning to bend the knees in and rolling over onto either one of your sides, whichever one you prefer today. Just cradling the head with your arm, coming into a fetus position. Really giving yourself a moment just to take this feeling of presence with you into the rest of your day. Either staying here for as long as you like, or whenever you're ready, beginning to gently press yourself up. Coming up to seated. Bringing your hands into your heart center. And maybe you'd like to take a moment at the end of your practice to set an intention for yourself for the rest of your day. Allowing that intention to fill your heart space. And taking a little bow forward, just thanking yourself for showing up for yourself today, for putting in the hard work, thanking your body for all that it does for you. And coming back up, and namaste. I hope that you enjoyed this class. Please let me know below how you found it. I know it's beginner, so I'm really curious to know where everyone's at and if you found this class helpful as someone who's, starting out in Vinyasa. And please let me know any other styles of classes or topics that you would like going forward. And yeah, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to keep up to date with my classes in the future.